Hello, once again, I'm BR Schultz, SP 500. Thank you for joining me. It is August 8th, end of day. We saw markets bottom roughly on the predicted 8th. One of the previous videos roughly suggested it'd be like an August 1st low. There was, and there's a bottom today. We didn't get the 7% drop off, I know. But the model seems to be calling the short-term bottoms decently. It's just obviously the roaring 20s is pretty hot and it's keeping markets elevated, and so it's very hard to get a sell-off, obviously. And so but the model is working. It's been calling things close to accurately since mid-June, called roughly the June 24th low, and so now we'll see probably like a August 25th low of sorts, somewhere around there, and then go up into August 1st peak, and then down to August 20th roughly, or sorry, October 20th low, as we spoke about in the VIX. Remember, we talked about a major peak in the VIX around October 20th, so that'll happen hopefully, and then we'll see markets go up into roughly the Super Bowl in 2026 is the next peak. So hopefully, hopefully the video is accurate, and maybe I can even consider taking a break for a while. It's hard when a macro move is underway, and you've been calling the macro move since 2022 of a macro peak in markets in late 2030. Yes, I've been saying that since 2022, and so that's the theme I've been trying to say, despite my failures in other areas. That's been holding true. Avi Gilbert and others, or Avi Gilbert, I think, said in 2023 or 2022 that he was expecting a 10-year bear market after 2023. In 2022, I was suggesting that the markets would go up until the end of 2030. So please, a little bit of room and a little bit of credibility in my models. Again, in 2022, I made the purple wave model, and I was predicting that markets would go up into the end of 2030. So you have to kind of frame everything within that context. So please, a little bit of grace, a little bit of grace. I understand that everyone's like, you didn't get the market drop of 7% into August. No, I didn't. And I state that very easily, that I do fail, but I keep saying that it's the roaring 20s, and I've been, again, since 2022, I've been proposing that we would go up into late 2030 before we hit the Great Depression. So that hasn't changed despite different presidencies, different political structures. The whole economic structure is changing under Trump again, right? So a little bit of grace. Please keep it in the context of the macro, right? There's probably some that are. Maybe the most are. Some of them are mad because the short term hasn't worked out as beautifully as I'd like it to. But maybe after October 1st, maybe we get that a good sell-off on October 20th. I don't know. Obviously, we're in the last 5 years. Look at the 1990s. Maybe you weren't around for the 1990s. There was a lot of upside. So even though the early August momentum cooling was predicted, the pricing still staying pretty hot, right? So you have to keep it in context. If you were around for the 90s, then it may be more difficult to understand that. And I still have to try to put myself in the same mindset that we're in a 5-year bull run here into the end of the decade, in my opinion. This is my opinion. We're about 62 months away from the Great Depression starting. So let's jump into the models, and maybe this could be the last video I do for the year. I do get quite a bit of flack on in the comment section, and I've been saying I missed the mid-April low for a while, and I still get people throwing stones at me. That's fine. I don't charge a subscription. I don't. And this is exactly why. Because you get a couple wrong in the year, and the people that pay the subscription, they think you owe them the world, right? They think you owe them 100% accuracy, and it's impossible to do. And that's why I have to give my stuff away for free, because I don't feel like it's fair to charge people when I can get things wrong. I want to provide a valuable product, and I don't want to seem like a snake oil salesman. So that's why I don't charge a subscription. So hopefully you can see a little bit of a genuine character in that. I'm still trying to do my best. I mean, I understand you got to throw stones at me and mock me, make fun of me. That's fine. I understand. I have to have thick skin to be a forecaster. I get it. But at the same time, there are things that the model's getting right, and I'm trying to do this as stand up and upright as possible from a personal perspective. I've got a lot of kids at home. I'm still trying to do my best. So I understand I'm not doing an A+ job. And some of you are going to say, you're not even doing a B- job. You're doing like C-. Okay, there's going to be times in life where I fail. But hopefully, let's see if this call goes right into late August. And then see the October 1st peak. And then a market where we see the VIX peak around October 20th. So we did see a macro peak in the VIX around early August. I would have liked it to carry out a little bit further, but it didn't. But nonetheless, the VIX models worked, right? They might be off a little bit, might be offset a little bit wrong, a little bit off, but it was correct. It correctly called the VIX move on the weekly scale. So that's a good thing, right? Because if you can correctly and accurately call the VIX moves, when a big pothole's coming in the stock market, well, then you can either sit on the sidelines or take other action, right? So that's what I learned from that. So, and I'm waiting for August 25th to possibly consider going long. I'm not a licensed financial professional, so please don't just take my word. Please speak with a financial advisor, financial professional. I have to update my models, so my models are subject to change. But this is my forecast for the remainder of the year. And the next macro peak, roughly around, I think the Super Bowl is roughly around February 8th this year in 2026. And so I think I'll show you why I believe that will be the peak as well. So let's move on to the models. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share my work, by the way, as well. All right, I got a baby on my lap while I'm doing this. So if you hear some fussing, then just please enjoy the little background noise while I am doing my forecast. So this is what you've already seen already. This is the 10-minute model, and then I'll show you a 5-minute model next. But this is kind of more the mid-range model. I want to get a really good mid-range model going, obviously. I've been working on that for a while. It was working really good at the beginning of the year, and I kind of lost I couldn't get my bearings around March, April, and I should have just taken the 34-month moving average, right? That was perfect. I even called it out in a few videos, but stupid me. I didn't follow through. So I'm looking for a bottom around August 25th, and then I think we start popping really strong in the markets again. Let's move on to the next 5-minute model. And so this is the 5-minute model. You can see like a triple top going on that. So I think that there's going to be a bottom round again around August 25th, maybe 26th. I want to call a little earlier, right? Because the bottom for August 8th happened late day August 7th. Even though I said it in the videos, it could happen late day August 7th. That's when it happened. So I'll say August 26th plus or minus a couple days. So that's where the next what I consider like sideways low is going to fall out at. And then let's move on to the peak model. So you've seen this before. This is my red wave peak model. It's looking for roughly October 1st peak in markets. So I think markets will go sideways into August 25th, hit some type of launch point, and then rocket into I think a peak around October 1st. Could be a double peak, right? They could have a peak at the Fed meeting or something, and then you could run back up into month end for window dressing, 401ks, slush funds pouring in, and we see another peak in the markets October 1st for a second peak, to create that kind of crash opportunity. But nonetheless, I think that final peak will be around October 1st. Let's move on. This is that weekly VIX model we saw. It was correct about calling that there'd be a major peak in the VIX, a big move up in the VIX in early August, and there was. And then the next we have is that teal blue line has a very nice 1, 2, 3, 4 touch point, going out maybe even 5 touch points, going out into around October 20th. This is weekly data, so even if there was holidays in or out, it wouldn't matter, because the week it only gives you one data set for each Monday. When you do weekly data downloads, it only picks one, the first day of the week, and then it gives you the whole data set for the full week. So this model would not shift. So we should see some type of macro peak in the VIX, strong move up in the VIX, and topping out in the VIX around later in October, I think around October 20th. So I think that will be the next major low in the S&P 500. And then from there, after the low, I think we'd go up into the Super Bowl. Let me show you why. So I take the gold wave, and basically if you blast that all the way to the top off the gold wave, that gold wave in the middle of the screen, it had like a double peak in it. So at first it kind of points out to, I think, the end of the year. If you take the leftmost portion of the middle of the gold wave, I think it gets you out to the end of December, maybe early January. So you could have like some kind of momentary peak in early January, and then if you bounce it off the rightmost part of the orange gold wave, where I do have it right now, you would see a peak in the markets around Super Bowl. So I think that's going to be around February 8th, 7th, 8th, somewhere around there. And so that's where I think you'll see some type of second peak. The second peak could be higher, very much so, just to make it not feel like a peak. And then when we get that peak, maybe it could be the CPI in February 2026, certainly could. But we get that peak, and then we would have some type of draw down the markets, and they're probably going to say it's because Jerome Powell is exiting. You'll probably have a big crash in the markets. Maybe interest rates skyrocket, right, and into the new swearing in of the new federal chair or whatever. You could have some type of breakdown in markets into the March, early April timeframe in 2026. Oh, bless you. Oh yeah, you want to talk? Is there anything else you want to say? No? Okay, that's the latest edition on the baby I have in my arms right now. I guess he wanted to narrate a little bit there. So that's the newborn, 2 months old. So love this guy. Let's see here, 2-3 months old, whatever. Yeah, so that's roughly, we would have that peak out in early to mid-February 2026 in the markets, and then we would, we could have some type of breakdown there. So that would be the next macro peak after your October 1st peak, and then markets sell off into October 20th, and they run up into the year end. Maybe take a little bit of a drop in the first week of January or something, and then they run back up into the Super Bowl, and then we will start again on to have that March breakdown in markets, possibly into early April, whatever, at that time. So I've actually given you a forecast all the way out into next March. And it's August, so what is that, like 7 months out or so? You got anything else you want to say? Just gonna eat your hand? Okay. So it's my 7th kid, by the way. So yeah, lots of babies in my lifetime. So I'm very grateful to have them. So anywho, that is the forecast. Guess I can take a break. Yeah, you think I can take a break for a while? Guess I can take a break for a while if I want to, unless something major changes. If the timing goes well and close to what these predictions are, then I guess I wouldn't need to make a new video. So obviously I'll be watching in the background, and if I feel that this video is close to accurate for each of the turning points, then please expect me not to make another video unless I really want to, right? But if I feel that I don't really want to step out and make a new video because the timing for this prediction for the next 5, 6, 7 months is already out there, and again I'll be kind of running parallel with it. And if I still think October 1st is roughly accurate, I won't make a video. If October 20th bottom is roughly accurate, then I won't make a new video, or I don't have to, I should say. If the end of December peak is roughly accurate, I don't need to make a new video, and then kind of get a small drop in markets, and then another peak again around the Super Bowl, just preceding the Super Bowl. Then I guess I don't have to make another video, right? And I guess we could even see markets drop from that peak, and then maybe around, I guess at the earliest, if I'm correct, it would have to be late February. I'd have to make a video if everything were to go as planned. So, and again, please keep that and couch that in the macro view that the final peak in markets would occur around Q3, Q4 of 2030, and then we would have 3.4 years. That's my favorite number, right? 3.4 years of a Great Depression. So that could put us like in March or April of 2034. Right? I always say June, Father's Day of 2034, plus or minus a quarter roughly. And that's my macro prediction. There's the PayPal links in the old videos if you ever want to drop me money for a cigar or Pepsi or Gatorade, just because you like my work, just because you like what I'm doing. You certainly can do that, or if you want to be generous and throw money in my GoFundMe to help me progress towards my $777,000 goal. I would also love that. And if you're a super wealthy person and you really like my work, yeah. If you ever want to give me a large chunk of a gift in my GoFundMe, I would appreciate that as well. It'd mean a lot to me. My GoFundMe will be going through the end of 2034, as that is my 10-year journey. I want to predict obviously that's the big fish call, is the next Great Depression window. That would be fun to call and get it right, even though you don't want it to unfold as such. But if I get it right, that would be a big feather in the cap. And maybe if I get it all right, then I can just go out on a high note, right? Because if Father's Day of 2034 is the perfect bottom, or roughly the perfect bottom of the big crash, or let's say April, April or June of 2034 is the final rock bottom of the Great Depression window, then I guess maybe I could just retire at that point, because if you call the macro peak in Q3, Q4 of 2030 correctly, and call the macro bottom of a great crash correctly, you can invest at the exact bottom and just collect dividends the rest of your life, I guess. So what would I do with $750,000 if Elon Musk were to come across my video, or Donald Trump or a secret millionaire billionaire were to give me $750,000 I would pay off my house. I would have college funds for the kids, and maybe buy some newer vehicles. All my vehicles are 20 years old, which I choose by my own doing. I'm not poor. No, I just do that because I really enjoy reliable vehicles. The newer vehicles I don't find are very reliable. All my friends have newer vehicles that are always breaking down. We're always helping people that have the minivans that are the EVs. They're breaking down. They're not reliable. But yeah, I have a 2005 GMC Envoy, and that thing runs like a top. It never quits. Like the engine, that thing, it never dies. Just like hopefully the engine in the Cadillac Escalade that it just got for $1,500. I hope that never dies. And I got a Navigator I'm working on too. But those Triton engines are a pain in the butt. So I gotta do all those spark plugs myself. Just for fun, for a learning exercise that I like, a challenge for myself. So anyways, that's what I do with my funds. And then maybe if I had a lot of extra money after that, I would try to buy a cottage on a lake, maybe near here in Michigan. So that'd be how I spend $750,000, 75% or $777,000. That's how I'd spend it. Thanks for letting me rattle on a little bit, and I think my son is saying I've rattled on too long. So if you know Elon Musk, or if you know one of these billionaires out there and you're good friends with them, please share my work with them. I would love to get a huge donation over $100,000 or $200,000 or get a donation for $340,000. That would, or $430. That would just mean the world to me. So anyways, I'm BR Schultz, SP500. Until next time, enjoy the next 5, 6, 7 months. Take care. Bye. Again, this is just a snippet of the GoFundMe page. I didn't want you to forget that, so thank you, and please bookmark it, whatever, and watch it over the next decade or into late 2034. Thank you so much.